for you. It's time for the Fuckery. You're now tuned into the most unpredictable podcast on the World Wide Web.
It's about to shut it.
It's Say It Loud, hosted by Karen Hill.
Hey!
Streaming across all major platforms, and you are locked in.
You are locked in. You know what it is.
Pour up a glass of wine, ladies.
Let the Henny flow, fellas.
And get ready to turn the Fuckery meter up to lit status.
It's Karen Hill live on Say It Loud Radio on your favorite internet platform, streaming live.
Medea. What up, y'all? Y'all like that shit though, right? That shit was smooth. Y'all ain't even fucking recognize me, did you? So y'all probably like, hey, what we talking about today? I'm gonna get to that. Let me just say that it's been a hell of a week. I feel like I haven't spoken to y'all in forever. My Cardi B voice. Your girl's birthday was this week. I hit 42. Yes. Thank you. It feels good. It definitely feels good to sink into your motherfucking skin and not to give a fuck. I think it's a beautiful thing. And every year I feel like it's a rebirth day and it's new skin and fresh generation. And like the Phoenix, I just come back better than ever. So shout out to all the people that wish me a happy birthday and text me and DM me and reposted the picture. Oh yeah, y'all seen the birthday heat, right? Drop that shit on Instagram, on my streaming platform. Y'all ain't know grandma could look like that. So shout out to all of you who show some birthday love. I really appreciate that. And yeah, let's get into what we gonna fucking get into today. You know what I'm saying? We got some shit to talk about. Let's talk about it.
Get my dough.
So I've been on that. You know, I'm always inspired by Instagram, clearly, because I spend too much motherfucking time there. And my kids be like, "Cause mom, you on that motherfucking phone." But I always, look at what the trending topics are, and I pick from that, and I say, okay, I'm gonna give my motherfucking opinion, and who likes it, great, and who don't eat it, I guess. And so I was on Instagram like I usually is. And if you miss me on Fridays, you're tripping. Friday Fuckery be lit. And I saw a post about cheating, about a couple who, I think the woman caught him watching porn and she felt like that, or she found pictures in his phone or some shit like that. I don't know. And she felt like that meant her man was cheating on her, and she didn't know how to differentiate what she was feeling, what she was seeing, and where that was going. And I thought that was like a really interesting topic to discuss because, going into a relationship, let's get it started. Get your drink. Hold on. Let me get mine. So, going into a relationship, and especially when you're younger or you're not comfortable talking about sex and sexuality, you are not having these conversations with your partner. I don't know. I don't date. Y'all know that cause fuck that shit. But people don't sit in the beginning of a relationship and they should be asking questions like, what do you like? Not on the first date, but like if y'all dating for a while and y'all know this is getting more serious, y'all getting more intimate, there should be things that you talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because, people tend to meet someone and they're like, well, what do you do for a living? Where do you live? Do you have your own place? What kind of car do you drive? What college did you go to? Like the standard relationship questions you're asking. And then you're like, oh, this will be a good potential partner. This will be a good stepmom. This will be a good stepdad. This is someone I could see a future with. What y'all don't be sitting down having conversations about is like, what are the things that you're into in sex? What do you enjoy? What are your boundaries? What do you like? What do you not like? What can I do? What can I not do? What do you think is cheating? What do you not think is cheating? Like, people don't sit around and have those types of conversations. They just assume that the other person knows what their boundaries are, knows what their safe word is, knows what their interests are. And the reality is that you don't. You don't know what a person's interests are. You might meet somebody and you're like, yo, damn, and I'm gonna speak from a woman's perspective because I'm a woman. But you're gonna I could meet a man right now and I could be like, yo, he got a good job. He has a nice personality. He makes me laugh. He's handsome. He don't got 15 baby mamas. You know, he likes to take me out to dinner, and everything might be cool when it comes to that. And then when it gets down to the sex and the sexuality, you might be like, yo. And I know there's a lot of women who've been in certain situations where you're like, yo, and I do not hitting it the way I thought he was going to hit. Or, you know, this is too vanilla for me, or this too far out for me. And, you know, we don't typically open the floor to those types of conversations, and we need to. Like, ladies, y'all need to. Men, y'all need to do that too. And so in this particular situation, this dude is watching porn for whatever reason. It might be entertaining for him. It might be something he fantasizes about. It might be something that he just fucking enjoys. It might be like somebody sent them to him, or his boy was like, yo, check this bitch out, or look at this crazy shit, or I don't know the specifics. What I do know is that people need to have a conversation about their sex and sexuality. It's not like, oh, we're going to have sex and that's it. Right? There's certain people that are into certain things that another person might not be into, and we need to keep that 100, and we need to be honest. Like, ladies, you need to know who you are, like, well, who you are, and what turns you on and what turns you off, and what you like and what you don't like, so you can articulate that. Fellas, the same thing for you. You know what I mean? You might meet a woman and she like, you know what, I want to peg you. And you're like, yeah, you see how the way this is set up, we don't do that here. You understand? And I'm not judging. I'm just simply stating there go two people that no matter how good you was on paper or how comfortable you were with each other in other aspects of your relationship, you might need to have a conversation about, you know, what the boundaries are, what the safe word is, what's okay, what's not okay. You know, there are women who are like, you know what, if a man, okay, so I looked up the word cheating in order to do this episode. I was like, let me go to the dictionary and look up what the word cheating means. And really, in my opinion, I think that cheating is somebody doing something that's not in the rules. Right? But here's the thing about rules. If you don't understand them the same way and articulate them the same way, then I can't stand by your rules if I don't know what your rules are. Right? And I got to understand the boundaries the same way you understand the boundaries. Right? Because it might be like people get married and there's like, just don't cheat. Well, what the fuck does that mean exactly? Like, what exactly are we talking about? Can I talk to somebody else on the phone? Can I have a friend that's a man? Can I have a friend that's a woman? Does that mean that I cheated? Right? Can I have a best friend of the opposite sex? Does that mean I cheated? If somebody called me after 11 and we cool, does that mean I cheated? If I watch porn, does that mean that I cheated? If I see a naked lady and I look, does that mean I cheated? Like, you guys in your relationships have to figure out what your boundaries are and where you draw that line in the sand, because in one relationship, what might be like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, that doesn't make me feel insecure. Another relationship, it might be like, oh, hell no. I'm not accepting that. You know, like different people, depending on, I think a lot of times we bring our insecurities into that as well. Right? And so it says that the definition is to act dishonestly or unfairly in order to gain advantage in a game or an examination. So really, if you look at it, it don't really got nothing to do with, it says avoid something undesirable by skill or by luck. So it don't really got nothing to do with relationships. It's someone acting dishonestly or unfairly, right? And that, I get the definition. But now, who defines what's dishonestly and who defines, more importantly, what's unfair? Right? And I think that that's the part where we need to wrap it around our heads. Like when we're going into these situations at our relationships and having conversations about what my boundaries are, what I consider dishonest and what I consider unfair. Right? Because it might not be the same thing in every relationship. I know there's relationships right now. If a woman has a best friend that's a man, her husband might not like that. Like, she don't need no other man in her life, and vice versa. But, you know, I'm the type of woman, like, there's mad dudes that I'm mad cool with. I've been cool with my whole entire life. They never disrespectful, never push their boundaries, whatever. I've known them for forever. I've had relationships come and go, and they still been my boys. You know, so that's something that it comes with a part of being in a relationship with me. Like, I hang out with mad dudes. I know mad dudes. I got mad guy cousins. Like, it just is what it is. You know? But some people are okay with it. Some people are not. And it also has to do with that person's insecurity. You might be insecure for whatever your reason is. Well, I don't want her around all that dudes. Then you don't trust the woman you're with. Because if you trusted the woman you're with, you wouldn't have to worry. And vice versa. Unless dudes is out here being creeps and disrespectful. But any woman that don't want to be in that situation gonna shut it down. It's not a problem. So I went on and I started to do a little bit more looking at the situation. And, you know, this man is watching porn and this woman feels like it means that he's cheating on her. He never left the house. He's not talking to a real live woman. He's just watching porn. Now, I'm not here to judge, even though I really do be judging y'all motherfuckers, but I'm not here to judge. I just feel personally that if somebody didn't actually leave the house and touch a real live human being, then to me that isn't cheating the same way. I would be more uncomfortable with my partner like talking to somebody and doing other shit than just watching porn. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what porn is there for people to watch it. It's just like watching TV, I guess. Okay, well, they're turned on or they, you know, masturbate to or whatever the case may be. And I get that, but like maybe that's all. I think also like women, we be like thinking too much too sometimes. Like a woman will think, well, you know, he's masturbating to another woman, so that's disrespectful to me. Bruh, like if you don't understand men, then you're gonna always feel uncomfortable about that situation. Like men are not emotionally attached to watching porn. I mean, some are, but for the majority of the time they're not. Like once the act is over, that's it. They get up and they get on with their life. They take a shower, smoke a cigarette, keep it pushing, go to work. You know, it's not an emotional thing for a man to watch porn unless he's like some kind of sex addict or something like that. But other than that, it's just an act. And so women don't understand that. And I keep telling y'all this because men and women are different. Men are physical creatures. They see something, it's physical, whatever. They watch it, they masturbate, they get over it, they get up, take a shower, do whatever they need to do. Women are not like that. Women are not like that. And that's part of the reason why we feel like this doesn't make sense in our head. I can't wrap my head around this. Because women tend to think, well, if I'm an emotional creature, then he should be an emotional creature too. And if he's a real emotional creature, then why would he feel this way about a woman? But he don't have no feelings for that woman, sis. Unless he crazy, in which case you should pack your things and leave because the nigga crazy. But if he's not crazy, then he's simply watching a video. He's fulfilling that need, and then he's moving on. And men have the capability to do that with another woman. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it acceptable for whatever your boundaries or your acts of dishonesty or unfairness is. I'm just simply stating the facts. That the way women look at something like that and the way men look at something like that is not the same. Flip it around the other way. Women are emotional creatures, men are physical creatures. So if your woman falls in love with somebody else, whether she fucked them or not, you in trouble. You in trouble, sir. Because she's an emotional creature. She is going, so she already got in her head, if she loves him, she already got, or fell in love or needed some emotional, she already got past the fucking in her head anyway. She got past that. Because women don't act like that. So she got past that already. Now you need to ask yourself, what, is, and vice versa. Like, I think we need to talk about it too from the point of view that, like, women can watch porn too. It tends to be like very cliche that like men watch porn and they're doing this and they're cheating or whatever the case may be because they're watching porn. But like women, you're allowed to do that too. I think there's a double standard. I think that women tend not to speak out more overtly in conversations like that. I don't think it is marketed the same way to that. There are women that watch porn. There are women that are in porn. There are women that have apps on their phone and computers and things of that nature. It happens. There's a community of that. I just really feel like it is not marketed the same way. It's not put in the media the same way. It's not looked at the same way. And so hence the reactions coming from this are not the same, right? A man whose wife watches porn 2-3 times a day is not going to feel the same way as a woman whose husband watches porn 2 or 3 times a day. It's not to say that it's not the same thing. They're not going out. They're not being with anybody else. But the fact that he's doing it versus she's doing it gives a completely different reaction. And I think that we need to think about that when we're realizing who we are, what our acts of dishonesty or unfair, whatever advantage is, and then understanding who our partner is, right? Because I really do think it still goes back to like, did you guys ever have a conversation about this? This is something I like to do. And if I like to do this, is this going to be a problem for you? That's really what the conversation should have been. It really should be like, these are the things I like. And I'm not just talking about the sense of porn. Okay, this was just the diving board for us to jump in. I'm talking about anything as it relates to sex in a relationship. Better, whatever sex it is, whether it's a guy and a girl and a girl, a guy and a guy, like we're non-judgmental here. The idea though is that there's open communication. So that you're very self-aware of who you are and what your needs are. So that you give that person the opportunity to be like, yes, I'm with it. Or no, I'm not fucking with you. Or we gonna meet somewhere in the middle and that's gonna be our comfortable space. And that's okay too. There are people that have certain fixations. There are people that have certain things that they're like that, they want to be beat. They want someone to stand on their balls. They want, someone to, beat them with a paddle. They want someone to bite them. They want this. Listen, y'all got the internet. Y'all know. And that's all okay. Like I said, this is a non-judgmental zone. I don't give a fuck. I ain't fucking you, so I don't care. I'm just simply stating, if I met someone and I felt like they came at me with something crazy, like, yo, I let the dog lick my balls, I'd be like, okay, this is probably not for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's the shit you into. I'm not into that. And having that conversation and giving someone the opportunity to say, yeah, I'm with it, or no, I'm not with it, instead of waiting till you're in a relationship. And then now you feel some type of way about something that either been going on or this person's been feeling, and they haven't been able to communicate and articulate with you. And another thing is, we should be having this conversation, prior to we got 5 kids, 3 dogs, 8 houses, and now this is a problem, because people tend to kind of act like you didn't know that, like you didn't know what this person needed. You didn't know who they were before. And if that's the case, then you need to have a conversation about the partner that you're with and really kind of look at what it is that they need and what you need and why they felt they couldn't have that conversation with you. Because that's important. That's really important, because it could be that conversation or it could be a whole bunch of other conversations. But somebody not being able to tell you what it is, or you not being receptive to listen, means that you're not giving your relationship 110%. And I know somebody's sitting there going, but I give my relationship 110%. It's a 50-50 relationship. So if you're not listening to your partner, you're not giving 110%. I'm sorry. You only giving your 50% because you only listen half of the motherfucking time. All right. So we're going to go to commercial real quick. When we come back, we're going to talk about how do we start this conversation? How do we find out how we can have these conversations, right? What are the things that we need to do to start those conversations so that people can feel comfortable? Like, how do I get off this podcast right now, Karen, and go talk to this with my girlfriend? How do I talk about this how do I start that conversation? So we're going to talk about that when we come back from commercial. I'll be right back.
This is for all the ladies. Ladies, pack your whole bag.
Who you calling a hoe?
Pour up a drink and start feeling yourself.
That's a little kinky.
Karen L is now live on Say It Loud Radio, streaming 24/7 across all platforms and live
24/7.
Yes, sir. Live on SayItLoud.com. Lock it in.
Y'all keep it locked right here.
Sweet Vibrations is the official sponsor of the Say It Loud Ho Bag. Yes, they are. If you didn't know, Sweet Vibrations is an adult boutique that delivers innovative lifestyle products and embraces the taboo of sexual wellness instead of hiding it. Simply put, they inspire each and every one of us to embark on our own sexual wellness journey. Whether it's the girl's best friend, a little pixie, the perfect match, or tulips, there's something for everyone. And you deserve something sweet. So visit their website at www.sweetvibe.toys. Use our Say It Loud discount code, LOUD, LOUD, for discounts. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Sweet Vibrations. I mean, ladies, we all deserve a good vibe.
Need promotion?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
Advertising or hosting? Log on now to www.sayitloud.com or email Karen L. Email Karen L at KarenL@sayitloud.com.
Now.
Let's get this network started.
Now let's get it started.
It's Karen L live on the Say It Loud radio show, streaming across 30 plus platforms now.
All right, so we're back. How do we have this conversation? I keep telling y'all, but y'all don't listen. Y'all motherfuckers don't listen to me. You don't listen to me until you're in some shit. Then you're like, Karen, I need to ask for advice. You should have been listening the whole entire time. Anyway, how do we have these conversations? For you ladies, having the conversation needs to be from a place of wanting to understand. So I did a episode for my subscribers. If you subscribe to the Say It Loud subscription, louder, about being receptive, about being open to receive. And are you in a place where you're open to receive, where you're open to receive criticism, where you're open to receive the universe, where you're open to receive the things that are happening around you? Because some people are not open, they're not receptive. And I say this, women, because if this is a conversation that you have after you said, okay, I caught my man watching porn, then you're going to be argumentative, you're going to be defensive, and that man is going to shut down. Because anybody would shut down. Because the way you coming at me is going to make this escalate instead of coming from a place where I'm receptive and I want to understand. That is my gift to you, ladies. So you have to understand, if you feel some type of way about that, or you don't feel some type of way, whatever the case may be, you need to be in a space where you're like, I want to know, versus I'm going to stop this. You're not that man's mother. You're not going to stop anything. And people got the internet and it's on their phones, and people go to work and they go in their car and they go to, you cannot want to control someone. You can't want to do that. And a lot of people are walking around. I know, ladies, I go hard on y'all, but you can't walk around talking about I'm a bad bitch, but you want to control somebody else. The idea here is that someone loves you and wants to be with you to the point where they don't need, and you understand them to the point where they don't need controlling. So if you feel like I have to control this situation going in, you're already starting off in a problem. That man is going to shut down. Y'all going to start arguing, and that's that. It's over. You got a problem. Somebody's got resentment. They're angry. Don't do that. That's self-sabotage. You don't even know it. So you need to understand, if that bothers you, lady, for whatever reason it bothers you, first, before you have this conversation, I notice a lot of people tend to feel some type of way and they quick to jump to react whatever it is that they're feeling. You need to process that feeling, whether it feels angry, distrust, dishonesty, unfairly. What are you feeling, and why are you feeling like that? Did you grow up in a certain household? Did you grow up being religious? Has somebody cheated on you? But what are you bringing to this situation in your bag? Right? Because you lug in a bag around. So it comes from somewhere. Well, it's unacceptable. Where did that idea in your head come from? You need to just know that. And I'm not saying change it. I'm saying you just need to know that. So that when you're having a conversation with your partner and you're like, I don't really like this. I don't feel it's appropriate. Because you can explain, well, I grew up like this. I learned that. I had this situation. This happened to me before. Whatever the case may be. But you need to reflect on yourself first. before you bring it to somebody else. Fellas, so that's my advice to you. If you're this lady and you're in this particular situation, try to understand. And then once you understand, no one's saying you have to agree with it or disagree with it, but you need to understand. Because you also need to understand that that person is an adult and you cannot control them, and they're allowed to do what they want to do. And they can make a decision to say, well, I'm not going to do it anymore, or I still am. And you can also make a decision to understand that that's a part of who they are, or it's a part that you don't like. And that's fair too. No one's telling you that you have to stay in a relationship or you have to do anything. You just need to understand, right? That just because you might not agree with something or you don't like something doesn't mean somebody else is going to do it. Personally, if the person's still in the house and they're not acting too crazy, I really wouldn't worry about it. It could be a lot of worse things. Fellas, you're not out of the woods yet though, my mans. Because while I feel like this is a personal preference, it's like people that play video games or people that are interested in gambling or people that want to do other things that interest them and relieve them and stress, whatever the case, the reason is, you also have to understand that you have a partner. And if your partner feels any sense of vulnerability or uncomfortableness with this, then you need to be able to have a conversation because they're your partner and you respect them enough to do that. That's pretty much boils down to just being honest and fair and just having a conversation. I think sometimes women feel like I have to compete with porn and I can't compete with that. You know, so you have to understand where she's coming from too. And you got to understand, like, I don't look like those women. I know I don't look like those women. You know what I mean? So it might be an intimidating place for a woman to be. And even though you're like, but it's not real, for her, you know, who may have just had a baby, a couple of kids, whatever the case may be, it might be, you know, something that I'm never going to do. I'm never going to look like that. I'm never going to, like, you understand what I'm saying? So she might be feeling like she can't meet your needs. You have to then reassure her that this don't got nothing to do with you. It don't have nothing to do with you at all. It doesn't change that I love you or I don't love you. It don't change nothing. You got to reassure her of that and explain that. Now, if you're just obsessed and this is what you're sitting around doing all day, she need to leave your ass anyway because you got way other fucking problems. But if it's just something that you're just like, yo, it's not that big of a deal, then just assure her that it's not that big of a deal. And let her understand that in a way that she can understand instead of feeling like it's something I have to find out or have to look for. I don't know. I'll give you my personal opinion, bro. My personal opinion for like the average normal guy, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it happens very regularly. I think men watch porn. I think women watch porn. I think kids are now watching porn. I know kids are watching porn now. Y'all know what I do for a living. I know it happens. It happens. The internet is there. I mean, and this was before the internet. Like people were doing this before, but now it's so accessible that more people are using it. Women, I don't think you should feel intimidated by saying I watch porn. I enjoy it. I watch it by myself, I watch it with my partner, whatever the case may be. I feel like this particular podcast, I feel like it should be empowering for everybody. That's what I feel. And I think we should all be empowered in our sexuality, whatever that is. And I think we should be honest with ourselves and let the people that fuck with us because they know exactly who we are and just keep it 100. That's my personal opinion. So I'm not encouraging you to do anything or not do anything. I'm just simply saying embrace who the fuck you are. Know what it is you like. Know what your fetishes are. Know what your fuckery is. And embody that bitch. Be like, this is me. This is it. And, you know, I'm with the shits or I'm not with the shit. I meant that literally, not figurative. No, is it figuratively? Yeah, whatever the fuck it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, what you're with. And you know, I should have an episode about that because there's some episodes on the internet that people have and they get really like down and dirty. They be talking about all kind of shit. The people having sex with their period, people getting pegged, people doing and all kind of stuff like that. People doing BDSM or whatever that is. There's places you can go to where people like tie you up and shit. Like I just feel like if that's your thing, then that's your thing. And that's okay. You just have to make sure that you're having this conversation or you're introducing these things as best you can and not be intimidated or shy to introduce it. And people also got to let you introduce it so that you can then say yes or no. So that you're not in a situation, in a relationship later on. Like this particular person that I read on Instagram, I don't think that was the first time that man watched porn. He probably 35, 40 years old. I don't think that's the first time he watched porn. I think it's the first time she caught him. But it shouldn't even be like, I caught you. Because that means that I was doing something bad or I was doing something wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So it shouldn't even come out like that. So you're already chastising when you say, I caught you. It's like, I caught you stealing money. I caught you stealing food out the pot. Like you was doing something you wasn't supposed to do. Y'all need to have a conversation on why I wasn't supposed to be doing it. Says who? Because you don't know. There's come on, teenage boys learn about their bodies and start experimenting with their bodies when they're teenagers. 14, 15, 16, 17 and up. So you're going to tell a grown-ass man who been doing that shit since he was 15 years old to stop? Because you don't like it? Or because you don't understand? Or because you didn't know? Come on now. Come on. You can't be a mother of a teenage boy and not really have had thought about that. And then understand that if you understand that about your child, then you need to understand that about this grown-ass man. And it doesn't mean, oh, well, why is my man doing that? He doesn't want to have sex with you. Maybe he does and you're not home. Maybe he doesn't and he just likes to watch it. I don't know. But that's your conversation to have. All I'm telling you is how to go about to have the conversation. Because a lot of times, like I said, people start talking about relationships and they start talking about being together and they start looking at all these other great aspects of a relationship. But they don't dig in deep into these kinds of conversations until later on. And then they're going to act surprised. Oh, well, I didn't know. You know who your partner is. Especially if y'all been together a long time. You know. If you just met someone, okay, fine, I'll let it slide. You don't know. But there's people that have been together for years and years and years. And all of a sudden you acting surprised who your partner is. You're not surprised. You're not surprised. Or you just wasn't paying attention. Or they suppressed it, in which case they felt they weren't comfortable enough to share that, which is still a motherfucking problem. And I'm not talking about you people that are just dating and you're in and you're out. If you in and you out and this is a hit and quit it situation, then whatever. Who the fuck cares? I'm talking about you people that have been in long-term relationships and then shit like this come up. And now this lady on the internet talk about, what should I do? You should not be on the internet, but you should be having a conversation with your partner. And you should be reflecting on yourself. You know, or for whatever levels, whatever is in your bag that you bringing with you to this. And then try to understand your partner. And if it's two people that are like, yo, we just not on the same sex wave, then just understand you're not on the same sex wave. You're going to have to work at that. Some people could be worked on. Some people can't be worked on. Figure it out. Some people are too far away on the spectrum. And they can't meet in the middle. And other people, you know, we can make some minor adjustments and we good. But again, are y'all having those conversations that you need to have? And how often are you having those conversations where it's healthy? Right? Because people also change too. Maybe things that I like when I'm 20, I don't like when I'm 30. And things that I like when I'm 30, I don't like when I'm 40. And vice versa. Like, it's a constant. So this is something that you constantly have to check in on. You know what I'm saying? You constantly have to be okay. A 60-year-old couple, it going to look a lot different. And we're going to have a lot different conversation than it is going to be with a 20-year-old couple. Because we're not doing the same things. If you are, it's boring as fuck for 40 years. You're doing the same shit. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm not judging. I'm just putting it out there so we can have a motherfucking conversation about it. So here's what I want you to do, okay? If you, this is my call to action. If you are in this situation and you need to start this conversation, here's what I'm going to do. You're going to tag, you're going to send, you're going to download, you're going to do whatever the fuck you need to do to get this actual podcast, me, Karen L, Say It Loud, to the person that you need to have this conversation with. And you need to say the same shit I tell you on every motherfucking episode. Tell them, listen to this and tell me what you think. And allow yourself to have a conversation and use me, Karen L, your auntie, to start the groundwork on having a conversation about your sexual relationship with your partner so that it could be better. Not worse, not wrong, not right, just better. in a non-judgmental zone. So here's how I think you should do it. I think if it was up to me, ladies and gentlemen, what I would do is I would order some food. I would empty the crib. I will put this podcast on with some music playing real low in the back. I would get some drinks where we warmed up, or if y'all smoke, y'all can smoke. I don't smoke. Burn some sage, get some good energy going, some wine going, chilling, whatever, and be like, yo, I want you to hear this shit. Like, what you think is crazy, right? And then start having a conversation about it because y'all punks and y'all rather use me for your intro. But that's okay. I'll do it. I don't got no problem with that. Go ahead. Let me do it for you. Have the conversation. And then have some bomb-ass sex. And then be like, thank you, Karen. And y'all could DM me in the morning and send me my goddamn money. So that's what I have for you this week. Hopefully, somebody could be like, yo, Kay, guess what? It worked. I had some bomb-ass sex. I had a dope relationship. And everything is all good to go. And now we chilling. And I could be so happy. And that's that. And I will be happy for you because I feel like you deserve to be happy. And you deserve to have the conversations that you need to have. And you deserve to take care of yourself. And this is part of your self-care. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not. This is part of self-care. Because if you can't be 110% of who you are, then you're not your authentic self. And when you're walking around not your authentic self and you're suppressing part of who you are, that's not self-care, right? So this is part of your self-care. This is a part of your relationship care. This is a part of your wellness that you need to be able to talk about and be comfortable with your partner about so that you can flourish. And whoever's listening needs to be receptive to that so that you can then flourish together in a relationship. And that this is something where I want more with you. That's why we having this conversation. Otherwise, I would have just left and fucked somebody else. Right? So you want to be able to do that. All right, I'm going to drop some gems on you in our next Dropping Gems segment that's brought to you by Manscaped. So let's get ready to do that.
Are you done mixing yet?
You know I'm not done. So our Dropping Gems, I'm sorry, I started doing Dropping Gems a while ago for a Millenniums Anonymous podcast, and now I like it. So my gem today for you is that what I just said, that your self-care isn't just about your mental wellness and your physical wellness. It's about taking care of you on a whole. And if you're suppressing any part of you or lying about any part of you or having to hide any part of you, that's natural to you. And if you crazy and you just a natural crazy, you need to sort that shit out. I don't support that. I'm just talking about whatever is natural to you. Then you need to embody that. You need to body that shit. Own that shit. Own that motherfucker. Be who you is. And then the people that will love you will just love you for who you are. And be comfortable with who you are. Because at the end of the day, you got to live in your motherfucking skin. You got to live in that shit. Right? And you need to be comfortable in the skin that you live in. And if that means the skin that I'm in likes to watch porn and my wife don't understand it, then maybe you need to have her understand you. You understand? And if it's a lady, because there's ladies that do it too, we not knocking. And there's a woman who's like, I like this. I like to go out on the weekends and sleep with fucking strangers. I don't know. I don't want to fucking be with you. It's not me. I'm not judging. But if that's who you are, then be honest about who you are and embody that shit. Right? And give that person the option if they want to stay or if they want to go with it. Because at the end of the day, they should be able to choose what it is that they want. And you need to be your authentic self. So that's my Dropping Gems section for you. Thank you for listening. What was I going to say? This part of the episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Go over to manscaped.com. Use my code LOUD, LOUD, for 20% off and free shipping. I love them. It's a wonderful product. My photo shoot is coming for Manscaped. Our raffle giveaway is coming for Manscaped. And it's going to be just in time for the holiday season. So definitely check them out. If you're looking for me, you can find me on social media. I'm all over the motherfucking place. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest, you name it, at I am Karen L, at Saith Loud. For all things Saith Loud, check us out on the web, www.saithloud.com. Let's go.
Hit me.
Yeah. Please be clear, we are popping it off.
You're about Log on to your favorite radio now.
Flex your fingers, and type up www.saidloud.com now. And stay in tune with everything. Karen L is on the World Wide Web.
You know already who's in this
It's Karen Hill.
Live
all the way live. Party ain't over.
from the Say It Loud Radio Show.
How did I bring my dreams alive? Why, with a Anchor podcast, of course. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor does the hard work and distributes your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to Anchor FM to get started.